Hi Flosstube, it's Lisa Smith, Kindred Stitcher. Today is November 22nd and I'm on vacation. But you know how it is during Thanksgiving week when you're on vacation but you're hosting, you're not really on vacation, right? It's house cleaning, it's grocery shopping, getting things ready. It's still nice to be off this week though. So I'm glad to spend some time with you today to share what I've been up to, the work that I've had done. If you hear meowing in the background, it's because I have needy cats hanging out my door who think that I need to open the door, sit down, and pet them all the time. So anyway, I apologize for the interruption if you hear cats in the background. So I want to talk with you a little bit about the things that I've worked on, a finish that I have, and some special haul, and some Christmas patterns that I pulled from my stash. Things that I'm always tempted with, but haven't started this year because of self-imposed regulations on finishing some whips. So let's get started. First, I want to show you something I started on October 28th. So just before I had my last video. It is the Peace on Earth sampler by Cottage Garden Samplings, and this is stitched on the model on Country Mocha, 36 count Country Mocha, but I wanted to darken this up so that it would pop. The light colors would pop on the fabric, and here is my finish. I started this on October 28th and finished it on November 15th, and I did not stitch on anything else because I was enamored by this project. I did make some changes because this is a much darker fabric than what is stitched on the model, and I love it. I love the pop of color on here. I love the way that the white just jumps off the linen, and all the other colors are super joyful and very holiday-esque. So I'll tell you a little bit of what I did. I think this is Piney Woods. It calls for Piney Woods. Yes, the green is Piney Woods. Now I had some Piney Woods. Piney Woods is usually very dark, and I ended up using Forest Everglade. What was it? Forest Glade, I think. And I had two of those. One looked very much like Piney Woods, and one was more of a variegated green that had a little bit more of a brighter sort of a Kelly green to it. Much more variegation. So I used that one. And of course, I could never find another one that matched it. So I ended up changing. The bottom is that skein of the Forest Glade. And then as I moved up here, I used Green with Envy instead, and they are Gentle Arts threads. The light green I changed from, looking at my notes here, Dried Time. I had Dried Time somewhere. It was sitting in some project bag. I didn't know where it was, so I used Shutter Green instead, and it sort of looks ghosty here, but it's actually a little much greener in person, and it's perfect. You could see the way it really looks when it's next to the dark green. The yellow, it called for Gold Leaf and Ohio Lemon Pie. I had two skeins of Gold Leaf. One was much lighter than the other, so I just used the lighter one for the Ohio Lemon Pie. And the black, I just used 310. The pink up here, so the pink, it calls for Antique Rose. Mine had a lot of light variegation to it, so I ended up pulling out the letters that I liked them in person, but you really, when you stood back here, you could not see them at all. So I used the darker part of the Antique Rose skein on the lettering. And then when I got up here, I just substituted the pink and used Tennessee Red Clay. And I did use it like a little bit of Antique Rose. I would put a little bit in just to get a little more variegation in the border. Other than that, it's all the call for. Oh, I changed Merry Christmas. So Merry Christmas uses Harvest Basket. And the Harvest Basket that I have is very yellow. And I did not want yellow snow on my piece. So I ended up changing it to a Gloriana color called Arnhem, Arnhem, Heath, Heath. It's a Gloriana. And Arnhem Heath is color number 175. So I love this one. Super happy. Now I was going to take this down to the framer. I'm going to try a different framer. So I really have enjoyed trying different framers. There's a local one. I don't know if she does textiles, so I need to check that first, because one of the most important things when you have cross stitch items or any textiles framed is that the person doing the framing knows how to do it and is particular. My sister just had something framed in an adjoining town to her, and that person did a superior job lining up all of the threads, the vertical and the horizontal threads on her piece. So it's beautifully framed. So I'm going to see, but I also check out this one. This one is Joyous Noel. I previously had this framed in a red frame. Now it's going to blow out here, but the red frame was pretty. It was the right color red, but as it sat on the wall, I just realized it overwhelmed the piece. It was too much red, which is crazy. Who knows, who's ever said that there's too much red? Well, this is really a pretty delicate piece, and maybe just a silver frame would be perfect for this. So I have both of those that I want to get framed. I have to pause because Teresa Kitten Stitcher put her Advent up. The mystery break the internet piece went up and sold out in 6 hours. So as soon as I saw that, the description, the email from her, that trumped getting anything framed. So I do plan to sell some project bags, and maybe I'll have enough to go ahead and frame these pieces after all, but I'm in no rush. Now, so what have I been working on since I finished that? And I have been on fire, you guys. I tell you what, I stitch a lot of hours. So don't think that I am like super fast, because I'm just kind of probably a normal paced person. I stitch two-handed. I like the way my stitches lie. I don't mind stitching in hand, but I really like to stitch on 40 and 46 count, and I'm getting a little bit better with 40 count. There's just no hope for me to do stitch in hand with 46 count. So, especially because some of the pieces have over 1. And so I usually stitch two-handed with a Q-snap, an 11 by 17 Q-snap, sitting on a lap frame. That's my preference. I enjoy it. It's peaceful. I can sit on my chair and watch TV, and the cats can sit on my legs, and I can chat next to my husband. Works for me. So the next one I have been working on is my Garden Club series by Blackbird Designs, and I picked this up. Let's see, where was I last time? I think this bird was started and this was done. So this bird was started. So I finished all of this and this, but there's some one stitching right here that I'll get to. I have to chart a name in there, and I thought I'd keep stitching instead. So this is the beginning of this last row. There are 2 more patterns, and then this is one that's split in half, just like these down here are split in half. This one is so fun to stitch on, and I want to say this looks like it's pecan butter, Lakeside pecan butter. I'm not 100% sure, but I will post the fabric. I've got a spreadsheet that says what it is. I just can't remember everything anymore. There's too much stuff. But this one has been fun. And it'll go quickly. This will be my blonde in my rotation. So I have a dark and a light palette that I stitch on. I rotate between them. Now, I will say that I've been less diligent about my rotation. I just go with what makes sense based on my schedule. And my schedule can be unpredictable between work and life. So there's that. And then the last one, here's my new brunette. Now that I've finished Peace on Earth sampler, this one slipped into the rotation, and nothing says Christmas like a little Halloween stitching. This is a Brenda Gervais Boo. I think it's, I don't know if it's Boo to You or what. I can't remember the name. I'll put it on the screen. Sorry, I don't have my lights out here. I'll bring this a little closer. Isn't that sweet? This is on 40 count 18th century rook by R&R linen. And it is a pleasure to stitch on. I just really have this other witch right here, and then an owl on the moon and a few stars. And then this one will be done. So I hope by my next video to have the Garden Club series done. And by the way, I will draw out my layout. It's hard to read my writing and the chicken scratches that I have on there right now. So when I finish it and I post on Instagram, I will include a picture of the layout because people have asked for that. And the layout just comes from, I went to the Facebook groups and looked at it. I think Nicole's Needlework did a similar layout, and she did hers that way. But I didn't have like a graph or a template going into this, and it sure would have been helpful. Somebody else had done the math first, but it wasn't difficult. It was just figuring it out, sitting down, figuring it out. So those are my whips and my finish for this week. And I'd like to just talk a little bit about the giveaway from last time. I heard from the viewer who won Hoity Toity, and that goes out in the mail today. I think I keep saying that, but shoot, I can't even get out of my house. Here is reminders from the prior people, the winners. There's an airplane going overhead. The winners of these charts I have not heard from. This is Acorns. Acorn, A is for Acorn, by Hillside Samplings. The winner for this was Marcia Clifford. I will make sure that I commented on your comment in the video before last. If I don't hear from you by my next video, I'm going to redraw. Gathering Pine Cones, and these both come with buttons. This was a donation from a viewer. Thank you very much. Barbara Goss, G-O-S-S, was the winner of this one. And I will put my email in the drop-down box below. And Fallen Roses with custom spill of some wine on it was Linda Spost, S-P-O-S-T. Those were the giveaways from last time. Now, I'm going to talk a little bit about haul, and I'll talk about a little giveaway for this time too. All right, let me move stuff over to the side. So this came in the mail. This is a Sunday Morning School Girl Club from Country Samplers. I'm going to scooch this up closer. It has a little complimentary pattern on the bottom that says Sunday afternoon stitching. How sweet is that? And as per usual, Country Sampler does a beautiful job with their color, you know, showing you all the goodies in the bag. And I was thinking about kitting, right? So I have a lot of patterns that have come in kits. I don't tend to kit up items until I'm ready or I have a plan to stitch them. So the stash that I have is pretty much, it gives me versatility so that if I change my mind, I can look at my stash, see what I have, pick it out, and then order anything I'm missing. That's how I prefer to do it. I know a lot of people like to kit theirs up, but when they get it, but I don't tend to do that. I can't remember if I showed you this one last time. I may have. This is Northumberland Sampler House. Oh my gosh, Carolyn Scott, 1821. And who showed this on their channel? Was it Mama Loves You GB? Was it you, Michelle? I can't remember, but I got that in a hurry because that screams my name. This could be a Christmas Day start. We shall see. And that would be, that doesn't look like it's all that big. It is 138 by 200. Yeah, it's not too bad. This came in the mail. Stephanie from Lindy Stitches. Some beautiful, beautiful holiday pieces. She showed this on her channel, and I couldn't buy this fast enough. Glad Tidings. I love this. It reminds me of Prairie Schooler. And I think it has to do with the proportion of the letters or just the fun design. And I bought the silks with it. She offered, I got there too late to get the fabric. The fabric was gone. But you could buy the pattern or the pattern with the silks or the pattern with the cotton overdyes. But I saw this and I think this will be a New Year's Day start for me. So I'm still trying to be diligent because I want to get my whips into the 60s. And I've got some big ones, but I'm telling you, when I get in there, I am just trying to execute, right? And I'm just enjoying my whips. Once I made myself sit down and focus and not start 5 billion new things, I found that I really, really enjoy the whips that I have going on. And it's been fun to finish them. And I will show you probably on maybe around Christmas, or maybe my next video, I will do a finish parade for you. I do have 2 more pieces that I'm going to try and finish this year that will be introduced after I finish the Garden Club series and the Brenda Gervais Halloween piece. I'm going to work on 2 other ones next, and then I'll just show you all the things. I have finished some really big samplers this year. Ann Dale was in there. There's just a bunch of them. So this one probably will, I don't know, maybe Christmas Day. I don't know. So the fabric was, I can't remember whose it was. Was it Misty's? It might have been Misty Purcell's. I picked up some dapple that I have. This is Picture This Plus 40 count dapple. And these I think would be really pretty on that. Whereas I think this fabric has a hint of a cream with it with the blue. This one just has a hint of a little bit of green with it. So that, I love that. I also picked up a couple of Lady Dot Creates pom-pom threads, pom-pom trims. And that's it. Stephanie, talk about talent. One day I went shopping. I went to the local quilt store that's a new one to me, and it's about 10 minutes away. It's called Shiplap Quilts and Coffee House, and it's in Tenino, Washington. It is a beautiful store. I wish, it reminds me of Country Sampler. I wish it was a little bit bigger. There's so much good stuff in there. So much. It's a lot of decor, a lot of fabric, trims, all the good things. So I saw this and I picked it up. Are you dying? I'm going to stuff greens. I'm going to go cut some boughs off of the evergreen trees outside, fill that up, and put it in my house somewhere. I loved it. So I bought that. And I also picked up this book, Cross Stitch Christmas by Helen Barry or Barret. I'm not sure how you say it. She's a French designer. And Veronique Ingenget is also a French designer. They both oftentimes contribute to the same magazines. There's a Pointe de Croix magazine that you'll see both of their designs in. And what I love about both of their aesthetic is that it's very sort of watercolorish. This is all sweet Christmas designs. And it was reasonable. I would say, I think this was $17 for 20 designs. This is probably available on Amazon, but you'd have to look. Also, I watched Rachel Needle and Flax, and about the time that I watched her video and placed an order, a couple of other Flosstubers showed that they had ordered some fabric from her too. So I ordered Dirty Teacup because this looks like Vintage Exemplar or light Vintage Exemplar. Very, very close substitute. I ordered a fat quarter, but Rachel sent me a fat half, God bless her. And this is phenomenal. It's so pretty. So she is Needle and Flax. She has her own website. I'll link her below. And go check her out. She was very prompt at sending me the product, and I really appreciate it. So, of course, when you're surfing around on Amazon, Amazon does a good job of saying, hey, you might like this too, right? Hey, take a look at this. What do you think of this? And I usually try to ignore that stuff, but every once in a while, I fall down the rabbit hole, and it's usually after 10 o'clock at night. I'm up, browsing, or I'm laying in bed looking at my iPad, and then pretty soon I got a cart full of stuff. I think this is adorable. Tim Holtz confections. And wouldn't this be sweet with a couple of little Brenda Gervais pillows put into a little Christmas dish with these next to it. So remember that she has had several exclusive kits that have like little wool pieces, whether they're candy corn or pumpkins or Christmas things. Well, this, if you stitched her piece over one and made it tiny and put this in the same dish, would that not be stinking adorable? I also picked up Tim Holtz, their backdrops. Now they look like, what size are these? I'm trying to find, it looks like usually scrapbook paper comes in a 12 by 12. So this is not 12 by 12. This is probably 6 by 10. I'm not sure, but I just loved this picture. And there are so many great scrapbook paper pages. Now this would be, you could put this on the back of a flat fold, right? Or the back of a hoop. Yep, so these are perfect size for that. So I picked these up, and this is called World Famous Candies. Let's see, what is the name of this one? Backdrops, an eclectic collection of printed memorabilia papers. Tim Holtz has his own website, www.timholtz.com, Holtz. And then I also picked up these. This is worn wallpaper. And they have little cutouts also. This is great if you're a paper crafter. Or you could decoupage it. This would be great decoupage on a like a paper mache box. I picked this one up off of eBay. This is by the Sampler Girl, A Travel with Jane Austen. It says, if adventures will not befall a young lady in her own village, she must seek them abroad. Adventures. And it says, for a fine Sunday in Bath empties every house of its inhabitants, and all the world appears on such an occasion to walk. They hastened away to Crescent to breathe the fresh air of better company. I love this. There's that peacock, but that girl is so dang cute. Joyful Stitch. Then I'm going to show you, this is my last purchase, and then I want to show you some, oh no, I take that back. I did go to the quilt store. I did buy me a little quilt fabric because I was looking for a piece of this before it was gone. This is Laundry Basket Quilts is the line, and Edita Sitar is the artist. This is her fabric line. And I saw this at another quilt store, and I didn't buy it, and I wish I had. So I went down to one of my local quilt stores, and this is called, this line is called, oh please, 100 Years, Fern Pat, P-A-T-T. Anyway, so there's this one, and then I picked up some Cranberries and Cream by Three Sisters. I think I might already have bought some of this, but it's red fabric. You can't go wrong with that. And then off of the clearance bin, I found this French General, sort of mustardy color. I have this in a different colorway. I found enough for the back of a quilt. So this could be a quilt palette right here. And I just need to get myself sewing. I have so many. Once I get my whips down a little bit, I think I will feel better about starting some things. But that doesn't stop me from collecting, that's for sure. Here's the last thing that I bought this time. This is a new antique sampler. It's called Elizabeth Millen, June 10th, 1801. There's a little bit of bleeding. There's a little bit of fading, but the colors on this, on the front, are phenomenal. They're sort of a coppery color. And it has a very rich, dark, kind of chocolatey. Now, this is the faded color palette. So once I take this apart, by the way, this is the back. Look at so somebody put a page out of a magazine to back it up. It needs to be taken out because it is, I'm sure the acid is eating away at this. This says Elizabeth Millen, her sampler, finished June 10th, 1801. The stitches on this are tiny, so tiny. And this coppery cotton thread, let me see if I can get it closer to you, has a beautiful sheen to it. I think this may be silk. And when I reproduce it, I would love to do it all in this rich autumnal colors. Coppers and chocolates and tans and beiges. It says, Jesus, permit thy gracious hand to stand as the first efforts of thy servant's hand. And whilst my fingers on the canvas move, engage my sinful heart to seek thy love. With thy dear children, Lord, give me a part and write, WHRITE, thy name, dear Jesus, on my heart. All you, my friends, that now expect to see a piece of marking thus performed by me, cast but a smile on this my mean endeavor. I'll strive to mend and be obedient forever. Elizabeth Millen. Isn't that sweet? So where did I get this? I got it off of eBay. And you know what? It was not terribly priced. And I made the seller an offer, and by golly, they took it. So sometimes on eBay, you can make an offer, make it reasonable, but it was a 20% discount. So don't be afraid to make an offer. Now, so I'd like to show you some charts, because who doesn't love to look at charts? They're Christmas charts, and they're from Stacey Nash, Plum Street, Heartstring, and With Thy Needle and Thread. And they're Christmas. So I think I do like some Christmas stitching. I'm going to start with some Stacey Nash pieces. You've probably seen some of these, but why not? If you don't want to watch the rest of the video, knock yourself out. But I do love Christmas stitching. So this is Merry Christmas Drum by Stacey Nash. And what I love is that Stacey Nash uses a lot of red. This Holly Berry Sewing Roll, Country Sampler, I think, has this finish and was in their last newsletter. When I saw this, I really went a little bit crazy for this one. And I really do. You can see when it's rolled up there, I really do want to start this one in the next year. There's a lot of things I want to do. I want to say Carol, Saltbox Stitcher, may have shown this one, Sail at Night, Pin Keep and Ornament, in her last video. This one, I love this one. Deck the Halls, Pin Keep, because how sweet is that with that cute little bow on her? And it would go pretty darn quick. Right? I say that. Have I stitched it? No. Merry Christmas at Hollyberry Farm. I'm working on, so my plan is to, after the first of the year, probably start focusing on my patriotic pieces. I have a lot. And a lot of them are small. Patriotic pieces, and is it 4th of July at Hollyberry Farm? What's the one? Summer at Hollyberry Farm. Yeah. That one is about a half-ish done. The house is not completed on that one, but that one will probably be on my sooner than later after the first of the year, because it won't take long to finish that one. But here's the companion piece, Christmas at Hollyberry Farm. Beautiful. Gorgeous. Somebody else is stitching that. Oh, I think Cynthia Brew might be stitching that. I have to watch that one. I am so far behind on Flosstube, and honestly, it's either late at night or not at all. Christmas at Winterberry Cabin. Is that, look at that. Are you dying? And I love it big. Like, wouldn't it be fun on a large count? Just make a nice big pillow. I love this. Oh, I moved into With Thy Needle and Thread. That's a With Thy Needle and Thread pattern. This is Jingle Bells by Brenda Gervais. I'm trying to find this, the best way to show you this without the glare. And I don't feel like taking them all out of their packages. I love this one, Winter in Baltimore. So Summer in Baltimore is a whip that I have that I started in Stitch Mania a few years ago. And the winter one is just as beautiful. Candy Cane Wishes, also adorable. Wouldn't that, ooh, you could put little goodies in here. You could put candies, or you could put those little, it's maybe a little bit too big, but the Tim Holtz confections that I showed you earlier. And I love it on this green fabric. That fabric is Marsh Green by R&R. I'm not sure you can find that anymore. Maybe. If you have a source for that, let me know. Plum Pudding. Super cute. I didn't think I had a lot of Christmas with from Brenda Gervais. Turns out I was wrong. But I know I have a lot of Halloween for her. And I'm always surprised when I find one that I don't have. Basket of Wintertime. That is gorgeous. And that is stitched on Summer Khaki by Zweigart. I love that color choice for that. Oh, Bundled Up. I know Carol Solbach did show this on her last video. Super cute. And I love this little touch, that little charm that hangs down. So cute. Frosty. Wouldn't that be fun on a really dark linen too? This was stitched on Old Town Blend by R&R. I love some R&R fabrics. Love me some R&R fabrics. This is, oh, I like this. This one's an older one. When was this released? 2015. One Starry Christmas Eve. I want to say, is this available in punch needle too? Do y'all know? I can't remember. That would be fun. A lot of fill-in stitching. Once you get the motifs done. Did she stitch it on black? Oh no, it's stitched on Aztec red. Oh, smart. You're only stitching the motifs and a little bit of black around it, and the fabric is red. That makes a whole lot more sense. I was thinking it was black fabric where you stitch the red on top, which would be difficult. No, thank you. Heaven and Nature Sing. What a sweet little angel. I wear one of my Christmassy kind of sweaters today. It's got this beautiful, I don't know what you call this. If you're a knitter, let me know. Like color work, is that right? And it has little beads on it too. And this band goes across the bottom. I'm just feeling like I'm in the spirit, the Christmas spirit. But the tree isn't going up until probably next weekend. My mom and my mother-in-law are both going to be here, and 3 of the 4 kids are going to be here. So my other child couldn't make it because of time off, couldn't get time off of work. So it's the way the cookie crumbles when you're a college student. So we're going to have a pretty full house, and I still see myself stitching, but I do see myself trying to get some stuff done so that I can set up that Christmas tree next weekend. We'll see. Noel. I like the colorway on this one. It's a little different, isn't it? And it looks like that might be Sanguine. What is this? Tennessee Red Clay, which I love Tennessee Red Clay. That is so pretty. And Pom Pom Trim is Blushing Apricot. Good match. Oh, Tannenbaum. I've got the box for this. That would be fun. Christmas Cottage. This is an older one. Let's see if I can find a spot where there's no glare. There you go. Cute. Peppermint Pals. This was from a retreat a couple years ago, and it has the goodies with it. And this is 46 count, I want to say. Oh no, wrong, 32 count. I wonder if she must have stitched one thread. I'll have to look and see, but he's so cute. Be Jolly. I think that came out last year as well. Merry Christmas. Tiny work. 1 over. You could stitch that big. You could make a companion pillow to the other one. Or make it small like this. She must have stitched this whole thing over 1. Oh, she sure does. She likes 28 count mushroom Lagana. Santa's Tree Farm. I think I have the little oval hoop for this too. This would be cute with that Tim Holtz paper on the back. One of these would be cute on the back of it. Holiday hoopla. So cute. Right? And I think of the hours I spend working these gigantic samplers, and I could have like 6 of these done instead. Merry Old Soul. Oh, this is the one that's on 46 count. He is so cute. Look at him and his little stocking. Jingle All the Way. Adorable. I love this one too. It's cold outside. So this is sort of a mix of winter and Christmas. Now I'm going to move into Plum Street. So Pomegranate Santa. There used to be, when she started doing more of these smalls, I think my LNS offered them on auto ship. And there were some like bowl series that came with thread cards with some thread on it, but it wasn't this one. I wonder if I have one in my box here. I might. This one, I don't know why I have not stitched this one yet. Mary Brew. I love that frame. Woo, that frame is gorgeous. Flirting. This came out last year. It does have like the snowflake look, right? So it does look winterish to me. Santa Skating, Merry Friends. Oh, Santa's carrying the snowman over to put the star on the top of the tree. So cute. And a bowl full of Marys. Oh, this I guess wasn't kitted up. Oh no, the next one is Mary 3. That's adorable. This is a bowl full of Marys. This is Mary 2. This one's kitted. The other one's not. I'm not sure how that happened. Who knows what I did? I'm sure it was on my end. Mary 1. Look at that reindeer. She does a fantastic job of incorporating quiltish type designs. This was from Country Sampler also. A Country Winter. Several people have stitched this. This is a pretty dark fabric. It seems like it's lighter in the photo. It's just really hard to get a true color of fabric in pictures. Winter salt boxes. And the last I have here is some heartstrings. Christmas band sampler. I love this. This would be reasonable to do. And it does look like, well, okay, so here's the deal. It looks like the alphabet is eyelets, which will take a month of Sundays. But you can make it a smear stitch or a cross stitch. You can do whatever you want. It's your sampler. I love this one too. Someday at Christmas. Someday at Christmas, man will not fail. Hate will not be gone. Love will prevail. When we've found what life's really worth, there'll be peace on earth. Isn't that beautiful? I'm about to have a cascade of patterns on the floor. Baby, it's cold outside. Everyone's seen this. I stitched this, gave it to my sister, and I think I'm going to stitch it for myself. Rarely do I stitch something twice. This one is Morning Star. It says, brightest and best of the sons of morning, star of the east, the horizon adorning. Shall we not yield him in costly devotion, gems of the mountain and pearls of the ocean? Christmas Eve, and then you put your date in. Beautiful. And I put some Lakeside in this. That was a bonus. Light vintage vintage, Lakeside vintage buttercream. That was a find. H is for Holly, and I love this frame. I think that's signed and numbered is the name of it. This is a kit from a club, from Dino Stitch Club, Winter Snow. And Hibernation Day, I finished this and mounted it on a sled. I'll bring that out in the next video and show y'all. Somebody else just was going to start this one. I can't remember who said that was on their short list. And the last one is, it must have been the mistletoe, the lazy fire and falling snow, magic in the frosty air that made me love you. I saw this at Acorns and Threads, hanging on the wall. Gorgeous. Gorgeous. I believe it was this one. All of that stuff is gorgeous. That's all I have for today. Have a happy Thanksgiving. And this time of year can be super stressful. I totally get that. So do for you what makes you happy. And may you have a blessed holiday. We'll see you next month. Take care.